Hey there folks, welcome to another video of mine. Today we're going to be doing a video on building my computer. Right here what we're looking at is my Gigabyte GA-Z170X-Gaming 7, and that's going to be the revision 1.1. Recently got this board off a buddy of mine, but basically I helped him shop for this whole thing, and he came into needing some money, so I ended up getting it. So today, the reason why it's completely all apart is that I decided I wanted to do it clean, and since I already had it apart, I was like, oh, why not? Let's go ahead and take do a little video on it. So here we're looking at the I/O in the back. The board is in pretty good condition. It has RGB lighting on the back and for the I/O shield. So I'm just taking a quick look over it, and yeah. It's all pretty nice. And there's the title for you. I'm actually doing a narration over this, so that's why probably some things aren't going to match up. This is my G.Skill Ripjaws, and they're DDR4. And if we look in the back here, they are going to be clocked at 2400 megahertz. I never did any overclocking on them, so no fun there. But it does offer upgrading capabilities for me. My Core i5 6600, 3.3 gigahertz. Just not the case, so it's not unlocked, so it's not going to do anything like overclocking or anything like that. And then, of course, my stock Intel fan. Haven't gotten anything new. Here is my MSI NVIDIA GTX 1070 8GB model. This thing will handle any games that I throw at it, which I absolutely freaking love. On the back here, we're going to take a look. We have a DVI-D port, 3 Display 2.0 ports, and an HDMI port. This logo here on the back lights up white. You'll see that here later in the video. Here is my SSD that is by Kingston. It's 120 gigs. It is through the PCI Express slot, which helps boot it really quickly. So, quick overlook on all the parts that we have here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to install the Core i5 6600. It's just a pretty simple process. Just open up the clamps, drop her in, make sure that the cutouts match up, and they should go in just fine. Sometimes it takes a little bit of pressure to get the little cover down, what holds the CPU in. It always makes me scared because I feel like I'm going to break the damn thing, but so far everything's going well. And so let's go ahead and clamp that down. Now that she's all in there, now she looks great being all pretty inside the board. Now we're going to install the G.Skill Ripjaws DDR4 RAM. Quite a significant upgrade from my DDR3 Corsair Vengeance from 1600 MHz to 24, so that's pretty good. Got a color scheme going on, so it's red and white, all that fancy stuff, but they go in pretty simple. Here's a quick overlook of the board, just making sure everything's in there all correctly. Here's a photo of it, making it all nice and shiny. I love taking photos, so don't mind me. Alright, now that we got that in and that's over with, next what we're going to do is just take a quick overlook, make sure everything's okay. This thing has 3 PCI Express slots up. I can put up to 3 graphics cards into this, so this is pretty nice. 4 slots for DDR4, but I only have 2 sticks, so good luck with that. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and put on the thermal paste. You don't need to put too much, just like a small pea size. It looks a little something like this. Any more than that is just unnecessary. It'll cause spillage, or it might get into the electronics, so that's bad. And install the fan next. I just sped this up because it takes me an eternity to install a stock Intel fan. I have no idea why. But here's what it looks like after it's installed. Next, here's the case. This is my Ninja 2 case. I've had this for many years, and I somehow got it back. So I will be getting a new case here in the next few days, so this will do for now. Don't mind my 1000 hard drives, I like lots of space. We're going to go ahead and drop this fella in now. You got to be very careful, don't just throw it in there or drop it in. You got to make sure all the holes line up so you're able to screw the board down and have it held nice and tightly. Make sure you move all wires out of the way so that way, you know, like I do, I put the board down, start bolting it down, then I realize I forgot one of the plugins was still sitting underneath the board and have to do it all over again. So that's never fun. So once you go ahead and get that all lined up, you can grab your screwdriver and you know, really screw these down. I just sped this process up because there's a lot of screws to hold this fella in. This is all new to me, so don't mind me. My narration might be terrible. I'm watching this while narrating, so yeah. Now that that's all done, just double checking to make sure everything's tight. Never grab the motherboard by the CPU cooler. That'll be very bad. I've done that before and I've pulled the CPU cooler off. And I'm going ahead and I'm plugging in all my fans and things, making sure everything's done. This is the CPU power. It's an 8-pin cord, unlike the 4-pin that I had in my other one. So go ahead and plug that in. This requires more power. Now we're plugging in the ATX power. Make sure that's done, otherwise the computer won't even fire up. Durr. Now that that's all settled, now we're going to hook up the front hookups for the power button, sound, USB, things like that, which is pretty simple. Mine just came with a little thing. I'm going to speed this up because this is pretty explanatory. Just plug stuff in. SATA cables are all in. Now I'm installing the SSD. Like I said, it's through a PCI slot. It's not like a normal SSD since I don't have the sticks that go on straight into the motherboard. So this will have to do. Go ahead and screw that in so that's held in and doesn't cause any data corruption if I decide to move the computer or anything like that. Next, the beast goes in, the GTX 1070 from MSI. It's the Superclocked edition, 8 gigs. It just slides right into the PCI Express slot. It's in the times 16 one, so yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the screw and put that in right there. That way it's all held in nice and beautifully. I take my time with this thing because this is my precious, and I don't want to do anything to break it. Alright, next we're gonna plug in the power connectors to the graphics card. This one, of course, takes only an 8-pin plug-in, and so once that's plugged in, that's all done. Nothing left to do with the graphics card. Now we're taking a quick overlook, making sure everything is plugged in correctly. Now that that's all plugged in, let's go ahead and get her all fired up, and here she is all fired up, looking beautiful as ever. We're going to go ahead and turn out the lights and show you what she looks like in the dark. Just red LEDs for the diagnostics and the power button on the motherboard. The rest of the lights on here, of course, are going to be RGB, so I can go ahead and change the lights colors if I want to. I, of course, changed mine to blue. The EVGA lights on the graphics card are not RGB, so of course they're going to stay a standard white. Can't change those. But other than that, it looks really good. Like I said, my new case is going to have RGB, so I will do an update video on that and showing you my new case. It's actually quite nifty. It's going to have blue lights again, so that's why I went ahead and switched these to blue. The back of the I/O shield also illuminates, which is really nice and handy if in case you're trying to plug something in the dark, but who does that really? So now that everything's all together, there's my Vault-Tec Boy wallet. We're going to take a look at the computer here and show you the specs, showing you everything is true to what I said, what I installed in here. So there's the Intel Core i5-6600, clocked at 3.3 gigahertz and 16 gigs of RAM. Pretty simple. Anyways, guys, I'd like to thank you for watching my video, and you guys have yourself a wonderful rest of your day.